Throughout history, there have been names which strike terror into the hearts of men. Nero, Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Vlad the Impaler, Ivan the Terrible, and now the Blackadder.
Hooray!
Massacre, murder, mayhem. Starting this Wednesday on BBC One.
Hooray! Absolutely! Hooray!
Who is that?
I know not, my lord. I'll ask my son. Harry? Who is that?
It is your other son, my lord.
It is my other son, my lord.
Fights he with us on the morrow?
What's his name?
Edmund.
Edna! Fight you with us on the morrow?
Oh, goodness, no. No, I thought I'd fight with the enemy.
On BBC Two in a moment, there are more difficulties to be settled in the staff common room with Pinkerton's progress. In 25 minutes on BBC One, a new series unveiling one of history's lesser-known but quite revolting villains when Rowan Atkinson stars as the Blackadder. Portrays one of the nastiest characters from 15th century history, and which Radio Times describes as the first of 6 horrible situation tragedies.
History has known many great liars. Copernicus, Goebbels, St. Ralph the Liar.
More ghastly gruesomeness is promised in part 2 of the Blackadder next Wednesday at the same time, 9:25.
Entertainment for Wednesday evening on BBC One at 9:25, that medieval baddie, the Blackadder.
My lord, I come with tragic news.
What, died at last, has he?
Who, my lord?
Oh, I see. Now the idea is that you ask me what the message is before you tell it to me. Quite brilliant.
With Phil Silvers at 11:35, this is Entertainment for Wednesday evening on BBC One.
Recent history dramatised on BBC Two shortly with the experiences of 3 families in Portsmouth as their menfolk head for the Falklands aboard HMS Sheffield in The Waiting War. Here on BBC One, our history goes back to more obscure times, to an age as dark as pitch, with the Blackadder. Brian Blessed is currently appearing in Cats at the New London Theatre. Well, problems for the King next week, what with the Black Death and witchcraft, but Frank Finlay comes to the rescue as the cruel, corrupt and repulsive witch-smeller pursuivant. That's at the usual time, next week.
On BBC Two shortly, Robin Ray continues his quest for the Film Buff of the Year. Here on BBC One, our schedule for the rest of the evening has been changed from that shown in Radio Times to give extra news coverage to the debate on capital punishment. After an extended 9 o'clock bulletin, the Blackadder is at 9:35, followed by a news report at 10:10, and at 10:15, Come Dancing. Flamingo Road will be at 11 o'clock, with more from the newsroom in the headlines at 10 to 12.
Now on BBC One, the horrors of treachery, murder and Morris dancing with Rowan Atkinson as the Blackadder.
He's back from the mists of time, courageous.
Run for your lives! Run for the hills!
Decisive.
Yes?
With friends in high places.
You're not putting him anywhere near me, are you?
Handsome. Adventurous.
Who the hell is this?
He is the Blackadder. And he returns to your screen on Sunday at 8:05 on BBC One. Probably.
He lived rough. He talked rough. He wore a rough. Blackadder too. Coming soon. Ish.
Actually, next Thursday at 9:30 on BBC One.
He didn't know the meaning of fear. He didn't know the meaning of cowardice. He didn't know the meaning of refrigerator. Blackadder 2, the Elizabethan sitcom. Coming soon. Ish.
Actually, Thursday at 9:30 on BBC One.
From the era that produced Othello, the tragedy, Hamlet, the tragedy, Macbeth, the tragedy, now comes Blackadder 2, the sitcom. The show Shakespeare would have written if he'd worked for the BBC.
Blackadder 2 starts Thursday at 9:30 on BBC One.
There's a question of sport at 8:30, and following the 9 o'clock news, the filthy genes of the Blackadder family resurface in the melting pot of history at 9:30, with Rowan Atkinson as Edmund Blackadder, who's relatively normal, until, that is, he meets Bob.
On BBC One now, Rowan Atkinson's Blackadder finds his new poster's executioner threatened with the chop. Here on 2 in a moment, 40 minutes.
Over on BBC One now, except in Northern Ireland, 4 contenders from the Midlands and east of England submit themselves to the mastermind treatment as the spotlight focuses on the famous Black Chair. Here on 2 in half an hour, it's the infamous Blackadder who finds himself in a spot of bother. Now, Michael Burke takes another live look at the world around us in Nature.
New shows, new stars, and the return of popular successes are all parts of Autumn '87 on BBC One. They seek him here, they seek him there, but it's still Edmund Blackadder.
Mr. S. Baldrick. Adder Party. 16,472.
One voter. 16,472 votes. A slight anomaly?
Not really, Mr. Hanna. You see, Mr. Baldrick may look like a monkey who's been put in a suit and then strategically shaved, but he is a brilliant politician. The number of votes I cast is simply a reflection of how firmly I believe in his policies.
Well, that's excellent. Well, that's all for me. Another great day for democracy in our country. Vincent Hanna, Country Gentleman's Pig Fertilizer Gazette, Dunny on the World.
There's a whole lot happening this autumn on BBC One.
And before that, Rowan Atkinson slithers back as a direct descendant of the Elizabethan Blackadder, as the scene shifts to Regency England, a golden age of wealth, power and discovery, but not for the Prince Regent's butler, Edmund Blackadder III.
Sir Robin Day chairs Question Time in half an hour from the Conservative Party conference in Blackpool, and his guests will be Tory MPs John Biffin and Cecil Parkinson, the Liberal leader David Steele, and John Prescott from the Labour Party. First on One, we go back in time to get a fresh look at the political intrigue of the Regency period, masterminded by the devious Blackadder.
Part 2 of the Brass Tacks special, Taming the Dragon, in a few minutes on 2, examines the real value of nuclear power and asks whether the promises of cheap electricity have been kept. On 1 now, financial problems for the Prince Regent and his fairly faithful butler, Blackadder III.
Next Monday, BBC One presents A Chance to See Blackadder III, the programme which last night was voted Best Television Comedy of 1987 at the British Academy Awards. That's Comedy of the Year next Monday at 8 o'clock on BBC One. And don't forget that Blackadder 2 continues this Thursday evening at 9, here on 2.
And for Edmund enthusiasts, the cunning plans of Baldrick and Blackadder from the first 3 series are available on BBC Video.
Regency England, a time of highwaymen, revolution, when men were men, and so were the women.
What, Jane Austen's a man? Of course. A huge Yorkshireman with a beard like a rhododendron.
Rowan Atkinson.
Ha! I laugh in the face of danger. I drop ice cubes down the vest of fear.
Tony Robinson and Hugh Laurie. Blackadder returns tomorrow at 10:20 on BBC One.
clown so cunning you could put a tail on it and call it a weasel.
Comedy on BBC Two now, and the police are after Richie and Eddie. Maybe they showed them their bottom. Something which Matthew has in mind for Mandy when the comedy continues at 9:30 in Game On.
The history of England from a Blackadder's perspective can be found in the complete works of Series 2 and 3 from BBC Video and Audio Collection.
Edmund Blackadder is reincarnated in Regency servitude with his sardonic wit intact.
When the people discover that you have burnt Dr. Johnson's dictionary, they may go around saying, "Look, there's Thick George. He's got a brain the size of a weasel's wedding tackle." Eternity in the company of Beelzebub and all his hellish instruments of death will be a picnic compared to 5 minutes with me and this pencil.
Blackadder the Third starts Tuesday at 9 on BBC Two.
Oh dear, Mr. Baldrick. It looks as though we're in for a bit of a thin Christmas.
Don't you worry, Mr. B. I'm hanging my sock up so Santa will come down the chimney.
Mr. Baldrick, I guarantee that if there's one thing liable to stop Santa coming down the chimney, it's your sock waiting for him at the end of it.
And there's comedy in 35 minutes with a lower low, and the big question is, will Alphonse's notoriously dicky ticker stand up to the interrogation by Helga?
We've had orders for 6 dozen fine Egyptian linen pillow slips, 4 kilo rice, 1 chicken tikka masala, and a cab to take a Mr. Redgrave to Arnos Grove as soon as possible. Can we say boiled rice?
What is wrong with pilau rice? It's just as old a recipe as boiled rice.
Well, I suppose.
But you might say boiled more amusingly.
I hate to raise this, but do you think it's a very good joke, this orders here? I think ring top bell's very good. It's very...
Radio Times gives you a better picture.
We've been sitting here since Christmas 1914, during which millions of men have died, and we've advanced no further than an asthmatic ant with some heavy shopping.
So, what I want you to do, Blackadder, is to labour night and day to find a first-rate artist from amongst your men.
Impossible, sir. I know from long experience that my men have all the artistic talent of a cluster of colour-blind hedgehogs in a bag.
Blackadder goes forth, Thursday at 9:30 on BBC One.
Now then, General Melchett will be here at any moment. When he arrives, leave the talking to me, all right? I like to keep an informal trench, as you know, but today you must only speak with my express permission. Is that clear? Is that clear? Permission to speak.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Blackadder goes forth, Thursday at 9:30 on BBC One.
You know what the penalty is for disobeying orders, Blackadder?
Court-martial followed by immediate cessation of chocolate rations?
A man in this position needs a good lawyer.
Well, tally-ho with a beat and all the buzz, buzz, buzz.
Oh, God.
Blackadder goes forth, Thursday at 9:30 on One.
Deny everything, Baldrick.
Are you Private Baldrick?
No!
An armed robbery in Derbyshire and an abduction in Cheshire are just two of the crimes which Nick Ross and Sue Cook will be asking for your help in solving tonight in half an hour in Crime Watch UK. First on One, Edmund makes another attempt to escape a fate worse than Baldrick's trousers as Blackadder goes forth.
Something's up.
What's up with you then? What's up with me then? Yeah, what's up with you then? I'll tell you what's up with me then. I'm right round off this.
As Baldrick turns Bolshevik?
And you mustn't do that to me, sir, because that is a bourgeois act of repression, sir.
What? George goes formal.
I feel fantastic.
and Blackadder goes forth tomorrow, 9:30 on 1.
Here on 1 in half an hour, Peter Sisson's guests on Question Time are Jonathan Porritt, Anne Leslie, and MPs Paul Berteng and Linda Chalker. That's after we've been for a spin with Captain Blackadder.
A selection from this and previous series of Blackadder are available on BBC Video.